Good morning, you guys. I got a question from one of you asking if the cliche is true that BMW drivers are kind of horrible drivers. And I'm absolutely not sad to say that this cliche is true. But I'm also gonna say that my mom's a BMW driver. Boy, it is so hard to say BMW. It's BMW. Alright, so I'm gonna refer to it as a correct way to refer to it for the rest of this video, BMW. So my mother is a BMW driver and she just loves the car. But in general, you know, Germany is a country where you do not have a limit on all highways. And so some people go and drive on these highways just for the fun of speeding. And then there are people who are like scared drivers, which is also not good, who are afraid of these other fun Sunday speed drivers, right? And yeah, I don't know, it's hard to pin these cliches to actual facts, but there is a truth in it. And everyone who says that I'm lying is just in denial, because you've all met them. Cars, even designers of cars, they make car faces. Like, if the car looks friendly or if the car looks aggressive. And you can see, if you're driving on a German highway, you can see a person behind you with a car that's like, I'm the devil of all cars, and it's coming towards you, and you immediately get this feeling of gotta move. I gotta move back to the right lane or the center lane, and you know. And driving in Germany is probably a topic that brings up a lot of emotions for some people. And I say that those people are stupid, because if you get emotional about driving, you don't belong behind a wheel. You belong in a psychiatrist's practice, so he can, you know, tell you how to be calm. My opinion personally on it is that I do think that certain people just get certain cars, you know what I mean? And then there are people like me who drive a 20-year-old Honda. And I would never even waste money on a high-end car. I would never even, you know, it's not that joyful for me, even though I am a passionate driver. I enjoy driving. I like the highways. Yeah, I also like a little speeding, and if I had a better car, which I don't want to have because it's the only thing I got left from my aunt, and I'm going to drive it until it falls apart. I drove it 10k kilometers up to Sweden and back, and it's going everywhere with me until it dies. But if I had like a really speedy big fat car, I'd say I'd probably be on the higher end of the driving speed on the highway, you know? But my car starts fluttering at 140, so I'm not gonna do that. That being said, among the speedy, cliche BMW drivers, there are different types as well, you know? There are the ones who just like a big car or who like a prestigious car. And then there are the ones, they think they have eingebaute Vorfahrt, built-in rite of passage, and they just want to get everyone else out of the way. They don't signal, die blinken nicht. I just fucking hate people who don't signal, especially if you don't signal. If there's just a pedestrian or a child or someone on a bicycle, you signal. It doesn't hurt to do this. To me, you are not a man. If you can't do this with your finger, if that is too much for you, then you're not a man. You're also not a woman. You're subhuman. So see how this gets up a lot of emotion? So I'm just gonna calm myself down a little bit, because I am not the Anzeigenhauptmeister. I would not go after these kind of people. I would not pick a fight with them. I would not ever pick a traffic fight or something like that. But I taught my kid when she was 3 how to do this in the back seat. So, you know, there are nuances. But again, different perspectives. I am really sure that there are some okay BMW drivers out there. And you know, I would do them kind of dirty if I'd say they're all shit. But yes, in the streets, there are certain cars that you see speeding, and BMW is one of these brands. It is kind of part of the brand. You also see a lot of ignorant driving and a lot of arrogance coming from people who drive bigger cars or SUVs, which really are a pain in the ass in tiny German cities, and they remove just a lot of space from pedestrians. So if you come here, please don't buy an SUV. It's really not necessary. It's also not safer. All it does is burn more fuel, so you really don't need it to get around. Drive a small car. But I don't know, I think there is just this cliche that if you have a small car, you have a small dick or something. I mean, we all know it's the other way around, but And then some people, they will fight to their death over how a big car is awesome and blah, 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 and all this shit. I'm just not into that. I think unnecessary is unnecessary in any kind of metric. You know, if you're one person and you think you need to live in a 4-bedroom house, okay, that's your freedom, but I can still call you stupid for wasting so much space that a family could make use of. I guess it's a socialist in me, I don't know. But yeah, I just think it's unnecessary. And I don't know, but the small BMWs don't look that good, so I mean, I get it. Anyway, yeah, I guess this cliche is true, but it's also quite normal to speed in Germany. It's quite normal to drive a little aggressively. People don't want to hear it. They will defend this shit. They will say all sorts of stuff like that you're weak and you don't know how to drive if you don't drive this way. Even though like the first paragraph of our Straßenverkehrsordnung is Rücksicht, to be mindful of each other and just think before you drive. Needless to say, I would never drive a BMW in my life because I don't like the car. I don't like its image. I do not like the steering of it. Just the placement of the gears to me is idiotic. I just don't like it. I prefer the Japanese gears in general. I think Japanese cars are great because they are really durable and I don't know, they're most long-lasting cars, and I think a lot of Americans also like Japanese cars. Please tell me what's like your favorite car if you have something like that. But yeah, I'm just always going to drive a Japanese car. And I think that if you go on a German highway and you have like me, you have like a Frauenauto, like a woman's car, and you go on the highway and you feel like, oh, this is all too much for me, everyone is so fast and I'm so slow. First of all, this can be true, and it's actually forbidden to be too slow on a German highway. You're endangering others. You should speed up when you get on the highway, and you should keep speed. So you should not linger around and doubt your moves, and you should also not signal 5 minutes before you make a move. You signal when you're ready to make a move and when the possibility is actually given that you can get out of your lane, and not before that. That's considered disruptive as well. Just don't fucking do that. And even if you're allowed to drive in Germany for some reason because you have a Führerschein from if you are the European country or something, please take driving lessons anyway if you want to stay here for longer. Oh, and one thing that I forgot, even if some Germans are speedy drivers and just enjoy this, I think that in general we're very confident drivers and we don't suck at it. But that again, that comes with some arrogance, and left lane driving, that's a no-go. And I understand any driver who just wants to kick you off the left lane. I don't get it when people do this kind of speeding thing when, you know, even a person with a slow car should have the right to finish passing someone according to their previous speed and the speed of the car they're passing by. So I think if you're going past another car and then someone else comes up speeding, stopping basically, or getting to your speed 2 to 3 meters behind your car, basically sitting on you. I always want to ask these people, like, would you want somebody to do this to your daughter? No? Then fuck off. Because to me that is just one of the most appalling behaviors. And so many people do it. I do not experience that in France or in Sweden or in most of the neighboring countries, maybe Austria, even Italy. And Italians drive like maniacs. Even them, because they are all the tiny little Fiats and the tiny cars. In general, in France, where you have the tempo limit, speed limit, people just don't buy these over-the-top fucking cars. So they also don't drive like this, okay? You be left alone on the street. People will come up to you and they have a shorter distance of comfort, and probably many Germans, I don't know. But as I said, there is a little divide between the people who just like to speed and the people who don't, and usually you just get out of each other's way. But in general, I think that in France, just people come so close. People come so close, and to me it's like, hey, you know, if I do a full stop, you're dead and I'm dead. Like, because we have a tiny little cars with no Knautschzone, and you're just gonna have no legs anymore. Why are you doing this? Get out of my face. But yeah, usually you don't do a full stop, so everybody is fine, and this delusion of safety just keeps on going. Anyway, that was my take on BMW drivers. I Don't really have an opinion on it. I would not buy a BMW. I think it's a stupid looking car. I think it looks pretentious and it's just not me. But then the other BMW drivers are probably going to be like, yeah, it's because you're a pussy and you don't know how to drive. And I'm going to be like, okay, if you want to think that, then fuck you. All right.